Hello and welcome back to the Orb. Today we have an Xpoints match between myself and Mark. Mark I met at a local game store a few years back when I first got back into Magic. He was the first person I ran into looking for other degenerate old school players to play with. So Mark and I have put together a few Xpoints decks. This is my Xpoint 35 for the tournament, just some tournament practice here for me. And a piece Mark has put together, mono black deck. So let's go and take a look at the decks. And here is Mark's mono black clay disc deck, is what he refers to it as. His variant take on Disco Troll, no trolls needed. He has clay statue in there, 4 mana for a 3/1, 2 colorless to regenerate. Easier than having to deal with missing black mana. Black's strongest spells have always had, or do have 2 black needed to cast. Hypnotic Spectre, Sinkhole, Juzam, and Sengir in his deck all require 2 black. Let's take a look at the rest of his creatures. Dredge Skeletons, which looks like the only other thing he has out there that can regenerate through the disc. We have 1 Sengir, take down those pesky flyers. We have 1 Juzam Jin. He is big and nasty for 4 mana. He comes out and beats down your neighbor's door angrily. Standard Chaos Orb for removing whatever needs to be removed on the board. 3 Terrors to take out anything other than robots and another black deck. 2 Drain Lives. 4 Hippies for nicking cards out of your opponent's hand. 4 Discs to clear the board. 4 Sinkholes to stunt your opponent. 4 Dark Rits to get further ahead. And I do like this down here at the bottom. I believe it's 2 Frozen Shades. Looks like they're out of beta. They are gorgeous. Frozen Shade being what looks like a flying creature by picture. Does not have flying, but he does have that all-impressive pump ability. +1/+1. He comes out for a 0/1. Gets +1/+1 for each black you dump into it. So late game, Frozen Shade's not quite the nightmare statistic, but only 3 to get out. So, nightmares on the board, you don't have to throw mana into them. After you throw that 6 in there, Frozen Shade you do. But very, very attractive. Cool creature to have in here. Down Mark's lands, he just has mostly swamps and Urborg. His points consist of, again, lands. We're looking at 4 Mishra's Factories, and then 2 Maze of Ith. So, Maze of Ith is tricky in any old school format. You're trading cards back and forth. You want to get further ahead in cards. And a lot of times, decks just have 1 or 2 creatures on the board to win with. A lot of times you don't see decks go real wide unless you see a Goblins or a mono green stompy deck, or a white weenie. Past those decks, you typically see a win condition with just a few creatures on the board, and Maze of Ith just shuts that down. Demonic Tutor to go grab whatever card he needs, and then his last point's an Abyss in the sideboard. The rest of his sideboard looks like he has Underworld Dreams, which is always great for the long game. Slam one of those to the table. That kind of negates the Jade Day Tome or the book out there. Definitely slows down the library. You don't have to think twice about it ancestrally, but it does put a clock down. The Dreams do. That's the most mana heavy card he has. 3 black, or black mana heavy, I should say. He has Glooms and White Knights. Glooms and Black Knights for a white. Gloom, it does slow you down once you get long game. Gloom doesn't matter as much. Black Knights are perfect if you're staring at Swords to Plowshares. They're not going anywhere. Not quite as strong as the Pump Knight, but still can be very tough to deal with. With that 2 power, you don't have to worry about sinking extra resources into them. So let's take a look at my deck. And here's a look at my deck. All my points were dumped into 4 Armageddons and 3 land tax. Ideally, I want to find both. Thin out my deck with land tax, blow off an Armageddon, watch everything leave play, wait for my opponent to play a new land, set off land tax again. Everything in my deck is 3 or less casting cost minus the 4 Geddons. That's the last thing I want to play. I want to get everything else out as quick as possible, turn around Geddon, and then start playing 1 or 2 drops. For my creatures, I ran 4 Savannah Lions, 4 Serendib Ifrits, 2 Acacian Javelineers, and 2 Preachers to go nab up my opponent's creatures. The spice cards in the deck are the unsummons. I do have 3 unsummons. Once I have an Armageddon in my hand, I'm going to get everything out as quick as possible. Towards the end of my opponent's turn, unsummon a creature, blow off again next turn, so they can't even think about playing it back out. Keeps my creatures able to be nimble, small, on the board, and hopefully my opponent's creatures back in their hand. Counter spells to delay until I can get a Geddon off. 4 Fellwar Stones for mana ramp, 3 Disenchants, 4 Swords to Plowshares. The other way I can deal damage is with the Black Vice. Again, getting that Geddon off. Hopefully cards are stuck in hands. Damage is dealt. I win the game, ideally. So, sideboard is mostly leaning towards enchantment and artifact decks. I have 3 power leaks. Tag an enchantment. If they can't pay the 2, they take a damage for each one they can't pay. 2 Blue Elemental Blasts, 3 Hurkyl's Recalls to send either my artifacts or more than likely my opponent's artifacts back to their hand right before Geddon. 3 Spirit Links, and 3 Divine Offerings. So, let's go take a look at the game. And here it is, game number 1. Mark won the die roll. He's on the play with a swamp and a pass. Stick down a Plains and a Vice. Mark's taking 2 damage from the Vice on his upkeep. Getting the first few points in. He responds back with a Chaos Orb. Get my second color out with an island. Mana ramp with a Fellwar Stone. Tapping the stone for another Black Vice. So Mark's still got 2 in hand. Gonna take a few more damage. He's already down to 16. Now here's where I want to lean in next turn and send off a Geddon. I think we're having a discussion here about who has the better looking sleeves. Oh, Mark just with a pass. So he misses a land drop and sends it back over to me. I hit my land drop. Oh, Savannah Lions, extra threat on the board. He's activating an orb, so we're going to see the flip here. I think he's deciding out his target, whether he wants to get rid of the Savannah Lions or the Black Vice. Here it goes. Oh, it is a miss. So I just grabbed both my Black Vices. I think he was headed for one of those. They are safe, both still in place. Pass the turn to him. He eats more damage, 4 more damage. He is down to 12. I'm still sitting on 20. He needs to respond with something. Dark Ritual. He's ramping. Demonic Tutor. I think he's down to just 1 left in hand. And it looks like there's more than one. He's going to pick his favorite card of the deck. Oh, he still has 1 mana floating. I'm sorry. Dark Ritual, Demonic Tutor. He still has 1 black left in his pool. Another Dark Ritual. Wow, for a hippie. Okay. That's an answer. 2 Dark Rits, Demonic Tutor, Hippie. Although, I don't want to start losing my cards. I do still have 3 in my hand. Hippie's not as scary once you have 0. 2 damage is annoying every turn. Oh, man. That is brutal. So, there's my Spice card, unsummoned, sends it back to his hand. He is a mana behind. As of now, he still can't even play it out. Wow. And Savannah Lion's in for 2. That totals on his Black Vice. That was his extra card. So even though he was down to 4. Oh, brutal. So he tears out my Savannah Lion. Good use for the terror, especially when you're getting eaten to death by 2 a turn. I need to find another way to keep applying pressure. Oop. Mark's dropping another Hypnotic Spectre. I'm just going up to 5 cards, so looks like I'm going to be losing 1. Hippie in for 2. I tap a white. Swords Plowshare. Hippie's left the game. And guess what? Doesn't matter because a new Hippie's coming in, and got an answer for that one too. Counterspell. So we're both burning through cards here. He's out of Vice range. I draw go. Still no threat for me to play out. I do have another counterspell for his clay statue, which is good because if that clay statue hit the board, I would have been in trouble. I throw a Strip Mine at him. Take out a swamp. He's back to 3 black. He's got a Frozen Shade. Love seeing Frozen Shade played. Typically, I'll see it in 7-point, not so much Xpoint, but here we are today. And Frozen Shade's coming in for 2. He's doing some work. Mark's leaving 2 swamps untapped. Ooh, for a Dredge Skeleton. That is his other regenerator for the disc. Armageddon. Oh man, he is way up. He's got 2 creatures out. I clear the board for him. I think what I'm trying to do is he's down to 10. I know he's going to start hitting me for a bunch with the Shade. So I got rid of his lands. The skeletons aren't as scary at 1. I want to stack up cards in his hand and let my 2 Vices finish this game off. He's at 10. Swinging in for 1. I got a Plains on the board. He is looking for land. It looks like he's up to 4 cards. Comes back in for 1. I'm at 16. I now have a desert. So unless he hits a swamp, he's got a maze. Never mind. So he needs a swamp to regenerate the skeleton. So they're on standby again. Both of his creatures are stopped in their tracks with 1 desert, and there's a second desert. And he's got a factory. So he keeps hitting land drops, which is not good for me because I want the Vices to kill him off. His lands aren't really optimal at this point. I mean, the maze, I don't have any creatures to send in. It's going to slow me down if I get a dib, that's for sure. Oh, now he's got a swamp. I'm up to 4 in hand. Can't really send the factory in because I'll double desert it. And same with the Dredge Skeleton. I'll kill it off. He's got to have regeneration up for it twice. Oh my gosh, Armageddon again. So 2 deserts and a plains are down for me. He loses his maze. He loses some points. So that was a good trade-off on my end. I already have another plain stacked in my hand. I desperately want these black vices to squeeze down on him and for us to call this a game. Looks like he's up to 5 cards. I pass back to him. We see some damage. Yep. He's down to 8. He needs one of those things, a swamp. Does he have anything to do with 1? Oh, he's coming in for 2. My deserts are gone, so he's back to applying pressure. I throw down an island and a preacher. Oh, gotta love the preacher. Gets past summoning sickness. Starts stealing creatures. Mark is down to 6. He's tapping his creatures again. I'm on 13. Taking 2 down to 11. Back to me and tapping. Another Felwar Stone coming into play. Here's where those Felwar Stones are paying off. I wait for him to untap, and then in his upkeep, I'm targeting him with my Preacher. He's deciding who he's giving me. I get his Frozen Shade, so he's a 0/1. I do have that Felwar Stone. We'll tap for black. I can make it a 1/2. Block his Dredge Skeleton. He can't even come in because then I'm going to stick him for 1. Oh, he takes more black vice damage. He's down to 2 life. Oh, he is coming in. I pump mine. He has to regenerate. He can't play another card out. I think he knew he was stuck either way. He's showing off his disc. Yeah, 2 Geddons will take some mana sources away. The second one always hurts the most, right? So I'm up 1-0 blue-white. Geddon Tax is up 1-0 against Disco Statue. And we're off. Mark plays a swamp. I throw back down Tundra and a land tax. He's got the second swamp in play and passes. I'm deciding what to get here. Land tax, you get to do a lot of shuffling. I'm only taking 2. 1 plains and 1 island. I'm going to ramp into a Felwar Stone. Mark's got his third swamp down and an Underworld Dreams. So the clock's on for me. Land tax, don't have to worry about taking damage from the Dreams. What I do have to worry about is 20 turns from now. If neither of us does do anything, I'm going to be dead. So the big upside to land tax, everyone obviously knows this, is you are thinning the herd, right? Deck's getting thin, meaning your likelihood of drawing a playable good card at this point in the game increases. And if we had 50 cards left and we take 2 of them out, right, we increase our chances of getting a better card by 4% plus. So I'm playing out another island and just passing. Oh no, I don't have any threats in my hand. I have to discard 2 plains. Now I'm on 19 from the Underworld. See if Mark can apply some extra pressure to me. And there it is. Okay. Second Underworld Dreams. That fast forwards my timeline of needing to get some stuff done. My biggest creature is a dip, and I'm taking 1 and dealing 3, and then taking 2 from the Underworld. He's going to beat me in that race. I don't even find one. I lay it down a Savannah Lions, pass to Mark. He quickly finds an answer. It's a factory. Oh my gosh. Wow. He casts the Abyss. I believe all these cards are in from his sideboard. They all do terrible things to my deck. There goes my Savannah Lions I just played. It's worthless now. I'm thinning out the deck even more with land tax. I don't think he really cares. He's got all the pressure in the world with a factory, the Abyss to wipe the board every turn, and 2 Underworlds. I'm down to 15 from the Underworlds. I mean, I just have a few turns left with the factory coming in for 2. Okay, wow. I do have another desert. That is big. That'll keep his factory at bay. There we go. I'm fighting back a little bit here. Disenchant on the Abyss. 2 of those planes are still in my hand. I'm running with 7 cards right now. 2 deserts open to stop his factory from annihilating me with those 2 Underworld Dreams down. Drudge Skeleton hits. I eat 2 from the land tax. We both have the same amount of lands. I play another land, so I'm now 1 up on him. I think I'm off the tax plan. Oh, here's an answer for Mark. He sinkholes one of my deserts. And his factories to work. I do have a Divine Offering for it, so no life gain on my end. That was from my sideboard. I wanted to gain back some life because sometimes you're going to need it with Underworld Dreams hitting you for 2 a turn. I'm down to 11. And there's my own Chaos Orb. Activating it right away. He's on solid black, so there's not a whole lot he can do. Let's see an orb flip. I'm going to use my, looks like land tax as the target. And let's flip some orbs. Yeah, that feels good. So, trying to apply the brakes a little bit. Take his foot off the gas. I did take down 1 Underworld Dreams. I'm on 11, so he's coming in right now for 2 a turn. Between the skeletons and me taking 1 from the Dreams. Oh, more pressure. Ouch. Drain life for 3. Mark's now up to 23. I'm down to 8. And he passes. Even though it's Drudge Skeleton's back, so my desert doesn't kill him off. Tapping 3 for a Preacher. Okay, that's something. At best, I'm going to steal some Drudge Skeletons. I'm still really far behind here on 7 life. Uh-oh. Also a problem. Clay Statue. He also has 2 mana up to regenerate it. I'm going to go ahead and tap my Preacher. Target my opponent. He hands me his Drudge Skeletons. I'm down to 6. This is bad either way for me. I'm trying to decide what to do. I have 6 cards in hand. I'm sending the skeletons in, but he's on 23. I mean, yeah, he doesn't mind taking the 1. He's down to 22. Throw down a Savannah Lions. And I pass back with 5 cards in hand and 6 life. I mean, at this point, oh gosh, he just plays a factory. At this point, I don't even think there's a whole lot my deck can do. He passes back to me. He knows the clock is on just by the underworld, down to 5. Draw a card. Trying to get him to do something with his skeleton so I can steal a different creature. But I can't because I need to block both of his. I do Hercules him. Oh. It's too bad it's only for 1. I think I was trying to get him to activate a factory, but realizing he's not gonna fall for it. I come in for 3. Oh, here we go. He is activating factory. I have another divine offering. I couldn't use the divine offering in clay statue because he can just regenerate from it. So I believe I took out my swords to plowshares to take care of his regenerating clay statue. Probably not the best idea in hindsight. I did think he had more artifacts in his deck than he actually does. He's tapping a lot. Oh, wow. He's drained life. Drain life on me for 4. That puts me down to 1. And I'm sure he just laughs here and says, your turn. We'll let Underworld gobble you up. Tap my Tundra. Swords to Plowshare. Okay, so I do still have some swords left in the deck. Stay at execution on my part. I am still alive. Definitely not well. My 3 life just went to 2 on my draw step. 4 cards in hand and a Drudge Skeleton. Swinging in against 19 life. Yeah, I'm grasping for straws, looking for oxygen. Strip mine, just so he can't drain life me for 4 again. Joke's on him. I'm only at 2 life. It wouldn't matter anyways. I mean, I don't even know if he cares to play anything now. Another Drudge Skeleton. Unless my next card's a Mirror Universe, which is not in my deck, I'm in trouble. Oh boy, even more so. He just teared off my Preacher. He's taking back his Drudge Skeleton. Now he's got a pair of them on the board. I'm at 1 life and staring at 2 skeletons that don't ever want to die. Yeah. Mono black statue got game number 2. So we're 1-1. Here we are, game number 3. Looks like I'm taking a mulligan. So I'm going to start with 6. I'm not a very aggressive mulligan-er. I probably should do it more often. But I start off with better hand. I start off with Island and a Black Vice. Mark eats 3 damage. Follow up with a Tundra, 2 blue on board. Doesn't matter, tapping one of those blue into a white. That Tundra turns itself down with a Savannah Lions. Mark is ramping. He casts a Dark Writ into a Gloom. That's going to shut down my white cards for a bit. Gloom, says pay 3 extra. I think we have a little conversation on casting costs there. I'm coming in for 2 with Savannah Lions. Some more pressure. Mark's already down to 12 life. He's only got 2 lands out, but he did burn through a few cards. I think he's down to 5 in hand. I'm doing some mana ramp in the form of a Felwar Stone, dropping another island. I got Mark on 11 now. He took another point from the Vice. He's got his 3rd land down. A Demonic Tutor. So he's going to go pick out the best card in his deck. It's now in his hand. So I feel, far ahead. Game's half over from Mark. Got a threat on the board. A little mana ramp. He's got another Dark Ritual and a Chaos Orb. Okay, so he's removing threats. He's thinned the herd in his hand. He doesn't really have to worry about Vice at all. He's activating the orb, so we're going to see an orb flip here real quick. Mark is redeeming himself here with this flip, hopefully. Let's let it go. Ooh, it's a hit. And, yep, he's got another threat off the board. My Savannah Lions has been eaten by the orb. Oh, man. So I just throw down a Plains and pass. I have 2 in hand. My deck needs an extra threat. I think if I go make some changes to it, it'll probably be more creatures. Mark's coming in with a Black Knight. Oh, my gosh. And he's tapping 2 more black for another Black Knight. So not only can I not play white spells, Swords to Plowshares are useless against him. He's got 2 Black Knights down on the board. I have a hard time dealing with first strike creatures. My deck will, at least. And he is coming in for 4. So it's now 11-16. Oh, my. Great Googly Moogly. He's up to Black Knight number 3. I am seeing stars at best. Definitely can't Geddon now. I'm sure I don't have it. I would have thrown it out years ago. I do have 3 cards in my hand. He's coming back in for 6. I'm down to 10. Wow, this game turned in a hurry. He just threw a clay statue down. He doesn't even care about having enough mana to regenerate. Don't really blame him. He's trying to just end this game now. I pay 5 for a Divine Offering. Oh, okay. So a bit of a state of execution, right? Not going to murder me next turn. It's going to take you a few turns. I pay 5 for a Savannah Lion. That should only be 4. Either way, his 3 Black Knights are coming in. 14 goes down to 8. Mark's now in the lead. I'm sweating bullets at best. Yeah. Desert, that's not going to do it. First strike wins. He tears my Savannah Lion. He doesn't even want to take 2 more points of damage, so he's going to stay at 11. My threat's gone. His hand, he's got 2 cards in hand. Oh, insult to injury. He glooms again. To cast Armageddon, it's going to cost 10 mana, 9 of any color, and 1 white. Mark turns his knight sideways. I have 1 last draw. A balance would be nice. Don't have 1 in the deck. 2, I have a Dib. That's a blocker. Pass to him. He's going to be, I'm sure, coming in for 4. Mark's looking at his cards. Uh-oh. Yeah, he just tears off the Dib. Turns his knight sideways again. Oh, I show an Armageddon and a Hercules. And another Divine Offering. So, I changed my board twice on him. I expected to see more artifacts from him. I did not. Probably bad sideboard choices on my part. But all in all, good games. Congratulations, Mark, taking this series down 2-1. with mono black disc statue. I like it. So thanks for watching. Have a good evening.